Excuse me. Take a sip of beer.
Hey, clear your throat. Cleanse your palate.
I got heartburn tonight. Ugh, not good. So I've been trying to.
Mm-mm.
I need some Sprite. So I get a whole bunch of burps.
Oh yeah.
All right. In three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to episode 235 of the WrassleCast. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined by our returning SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonay.
Hey.
What's going on, friend?
¿Cómo estás usted? Let me stop. Hi.
Back from your parts unknown vacation,
Yeah, I have been all over the hemisphere. It was,
winning,
yeah.
claiming new territories.
You know, what did I go on? Like a 5 city tour? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's call it that. No, we're international. Uncharted waters. I've been all over the place.
some more stamps on your passport.
No, I'm angry about it too. They did
Oh,
not give me a stamp on my passport. Why do I need a passport to go a place and I don't have a stamp? That is 2 countries now that I have been to with no stamp as proof.
yet now the Germany thing does seem very, very strange, considering everybody's supposed to be connected with this terrorism stuff.
Let me tell you how Austria. Not like I'm encouraging anybody to do it, but you can absolutely get to Austria without anybody knowing. You can probably go for free because it's not like anybody ever checked my ticket. They only checked my passport going back. Germany cares. Austria, I guess, is for everybody. I guess Austria is like an international hoe. I don't know. If I sound bitter, it's just because I want my stamps. That's all.
Before we move on to tonight's WrestleCast action, we'd like to send an official congratulations to Magnum Prime and his wife on the birth of their son over the past weekend after we recorded last week. So, Baby Mania
Hey.
is running wild over in the Magnum Prime household. Congratulations. And we'll be talking to him in the very distant future, I'm sure.
Yes, because he's going to be on daddy duty. Yes. I stand.
So now we're getting to the wrestling news. And in wrestling news slash MMA news, Brock Lesnar has officially retired from MMA, according to Dana White.
Hopefully, Dana White is a lie for the pits of hell. Because if there's one sport that I want Brock Lesnar to retire from, it ain't the MMA.
They were trying to put together this really big fight between Daniel Cormier and Brock Lesnar, and apparently they've made a fight between Daniel Cormier and someone else. So that's kind of the
Mm.
proof that everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's for real. He's not bullshit."
Mm.
But that still didn't. He didn't say nothing about not taking them checks from Vince though.
He's going to keep taking the check from Vince, which is why I'm sad he's not retiring from this, because that means he's gonna come back and
It'll
be
probably be.
himself.
It will probably be next month in Saudi Arabia.
It's just so annoying. I don't want him back. Why is Arabia so? I mean, I know he's an albino and they probably don't make them that pale normally in that country, but like, why are they so enthused with him?
Because he's worldwide. He's an attraction. He's real.
I mean, in the way that we can go get an albino gorilla. Yeah, he
They
still
only
looks like
make
a
those.
gorilla.
They only make those CGI for the movies. This is the real life version.
Listen, if they're gonna insist on this, I need him to grow his beard back. This is the only way to make that acceptable.
What hasn't been acceptable is Monday Night Raw because it got its lowest non-holiday rating in history,
Yikes.
and that rating was down 29% from last
Oof.
year's Monday Night Raw.
Oof. Oof.
So things aren't going too well for the flagship, as it's
Ship is trash.
as I just think the presentation in general is just stale. They
Mm-mm-mm.
I tweeted out that WWE TV matches, they're so boring.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have any energy really.
Right, right. The promos in the past, like since WrestleMania, have been blah. Nobody's really had any really good promos. Maybe one or two here or there. It's just not been that great. So Monday Night Raw failing right now. Doesn't look like it's going to get turned around anytime soon. And our last bit of news, Jeff Hardy. He's going to be out 6 to 9 months after he has knee surgery. He hurt his knee in a house show a couple of weekends ago. So good luck to Jeff Hardy. He's had knee problems his whole career, so he'll be well prepared to take on this upcoming battle. So good luck and get well to Jeff Hardy. And also a big shout out to Nia Jax as well. Again, she had double knee surgery
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks ago, so she's on the mend as well. So good luck to Nia Jax. That is definitely got to be rough.
Yeah.
So we'll get into a little bit of Monday Night Raw from Lexington, Kentucky. Alexa Bliss starts the show. She reveals the 4 men who will participate from Raw in the Money in the Bank event. So we get Dee Dee's man, Braun Strowman,
Mm.
Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and everybody's favorite, Baron Corbin. So of course, this leads to everybody talking trash, and everybody's treating Ricochet like a nerd. And then Braun says, "Hey, I'm gonna win." And then he proposes a tag team match: Braun and Ricochet versus Drew and Corbin. We get to the match. Braun runs wild, and of course, he runs into the post. Ricochet runs in. Drew cuts him off with a headbutt. Baron Corbin tags himself in, and Ricochet counters, and he tags Braun in. The power slam follows. Ricochet finishes it off with the shooting star press. What I missed in that was that because Drew McIntyre got his number 1 contender spot stolen by Baron Corbin last week, he basically
Oh,
pushed Corbin and left him for Braun to put into the power slam.
wonderful.
Yeah, so there were these 2 triple threat matches, and the winner would be the opponent for Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank for the Universal title. And then it was Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and I think it's like the Miz, I think, but it was somebody anyway. Uh, Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore and he gets ready to go pin him, and Baron Corbin threw him out the ring and pinned the dude and got the match.
Mm, mm, mm.
You know how we love a good heel tactic here.
I'm a fan. If you're gonna be a heel, be a heel.
The Usos, they come out. They're super hyped. They're going up against the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson. Gallows tags in, and the Good Brothers look for the Magic Killer. But Jimmy makes a save with super kicks. We get the suicide dive from one of the Usos, and then the big Uso splash gets the win for the Usos. After the match, the Usos, they run down the Revival, and they show footage of the Revival shaving each other's back. The Revival comes out. They claim that they are men and they have body hair.
Yep.
And Scott Dawson says that his lats are so big that he can't reach back behind himself to get to some, of those areas. So his partner has his back, just like he has his back.
Hmm.
You didn't see this
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Got
because
in at midnight, so
you would have been utterly disgusted.
I believe it. It sounds, but I'm not trying to judge. Raw has enough problems without my judgment.
Ms. TV, Bobby Lashley is the guest. No Leo Rush. Miz welcomes Bobby Lashley to the show. Bobby interrupts and says that he will only answer the questions he wants to. Miz mocks Bobby Lashley for speaking in the third person. Then he puts Bobby Lashley over. Then he says that some people don't think Bobby is reaching his full potential. Bobby says he's been a two-time Intercontinental Champion. What has the Miz done? Miz runs down his list of accomplishments, noting that he's an overachiever. Just look at his wife. Lashley mocks him for losing at Mania and for Shane beating up his father. And since it's the Miz, he attacks and he sends Bobby Lashley to the floor. So we get an impromptu match: the Miz versus Bobby Lashley. Okay, Didi, get ready.
Okay.
Shane distracts the Miz. The Miz hits a DDT for a 2 count. Miz follows with the It Kicks. Shane distracts Miz again, and Lashley spears the Miz, and he gets the win. Shane and Bobby Lashley beat the Miz down after the match. Shane lays in strikes, and he yells at the Miz. Shane then locks in the submission as he shows pics of the Miz's dad on the Titantron. Shane then says that he is the best in the world as the Miz eventually passes out. The Miz as a babyface is not working. The Miz beating up Bobby Lashley? Are you serious? Just nothing about that visually is acceptable. Right. He's supposed to be running away from Bobby Lashley, looking to sneak attack at all opportunities.
Right.
Oh, while you were gone, they changed the name, so they are now the Viking Raiders.
Who is this?
The War Raiders were the Viking Experience.
The Viking Experience. they're not a ride at Busch Gardens. What do you mean, the Viking Experience?
Mm-hmm. And everybody shitted on it.
Correct, and it's valid. Points were made.
And so the next week, they came out, and their names were the Viking Raiders.
Raiders or Riders?
Raiders.
I mean, they're both awful. Yeah. Just asking so that I can know.
Yes. The notes are spelled wrong, unfortunately. The Lucha House Party attack and the Viking Raiders. The Lucha House Party attack the Viking Raiders as they make their entrance. The Viking Raiders take out Lindsay Dorado and work over Kalisto. Double team follows on Grand Elite. They hit the Thor's Hammer, which finishes off Kalisto. After the match, the Viking Raiders lay out Lindsay Dorado.
Speaking of Thor's Hammer, let me stop.
Did you see it?
I saw it when I was in California.
Oh, yeah. Was it amazing?
It was amazing.
I didn't watch it. I watched the Game of Thrones epic episode. I've watched probably.
See that I haven't seen. But I love Game of Thrones. I saw the first episode this season, and I guess I don't know. I've been watching Twitter watch it for all these years that I feel like I know, but I don't know.
My cousin, when I went to the race a couple of weekends ago, he was trying to catch up, so he was on season 6. And so, I'm going back and forth, doing different things, getting ready for their, podcast and interviews and stuff. So then it's late and he's watching the episode. So I just come in, it's probably about 15 minutes into it. And I sit there for the next 45 minutes and I'm like, dude, really? All this talking. Ain't nothing happened. There was this one thing where this one guy was like, oh, there's a warning. These men are not to be trusted. And, be careful. They offer you good things here, And then all of a sudden, the dude was out like chopping wood, and then he heard something, and he came back, and then all the people were killed. But it
Oh
didn't
wow.
show it, you know.
Oh. They say it's slow. I think once you're in it everything means something, and so like even shit that like a layman like us will be like, what are we looking at? They'll be like, holy shit! Like I think they know that it means something that we don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. So I
As an outsider looking in,
yeah
it was like the very very best pay per view you could ever watch. It was that good.
cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was that good.
All I know is Arya is that bitch. That's all I really know.
Arya became Becky Lynch
Oh, I like it.
when
I
when
like
she
it.
jumped Ronda and got her nose broken. That's basically what Arya
Yes,
became.
I
And the
like
guy
it.
Jon Snow, he's like
Mm,
Roman. He's like Roman. He's the one everybody sees as the chosen one, and who's supposed to be the one, but he for
mhm.
some reason couldn't quite get there.
Ah, I like it.
And then the White Walker dude, of course, is Vince.
Yes.
The only person I'm having a hard time finding a wrestler for is Brand, the kid who was
Bran is.
the kid who the White Walker was coming for.
I know he's the one that he doesn't walk now or something.
Right?
Did
He's
somebody push him out of a window when he was a young child because he saw
yeah.
some shit he shouldn't have seen?
No, he
And
was having sex with his sister, and so the guy caught him and threw him out the window.
Bran wasn't having sex with his sister. Bran saw him having sex
Yeah,
with his
yeah, that's
sister.
what it was. There you go.
Yeah. Bran wouldn't do anything like that.
Yes, there you go. Thank you.
That's them nasties. So who would Bran be? I was about to say, what's his name? Oh, what is Wyndham Rotunda's real name? Bray Wyatt. I was
Bray
about to
Wyatt.
Wyndham Rotunda is the best name on earth. I don't care what anybody says.
That could work. He could be Bray Wyatt.
I think he's a little Bray. Like, remember when he first started being like creepy
Mm-hmm.
and like unsettling? And I think people are very creeped out by Bran. At least that's what I've gathered from the Twitters. So I think he might be like a Bran, or maybe like a no. He's too clean to be like a Luke or
It
Luke
wasn't maybe
Ray.
like the Undertaker, but no, because he
Hmm.
could see things, he could foresee things. The Ravens.
Yeah. Oh, like a I don't know, those are vampires. I was gonna say like early Edge and Christian and Gangrel.
Right, but they
Oh,
were
what about
in the
Raven?
future.
What about Raven? Do you remember Raven?
Yeah, I remember Raven.
Raven for the three-eyed raven. See, it all goes together.
There
Boom.
it goes. There it goes. So as we take
Ooh.
a detour back to Monday Night Raw, that was
Because
much
that was
more
more
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Oh,
that
by
was way
far.
better than
The,
Raw.
the the dragon fight in the episode I tweeted out was going to be far more entertaining than any of the undercard on Monday Night Raw, and it was. So Alexa Bliss comes out. She announces the women's participants from Raw for the Money in the Bank match. We're gonna have Natalia, Dana Brooke, Naomi, and Alexa Bliss.
Hmm.
So Natalia and Dana begin to argue, with Dana saying Natalia is handed every opportunity. Naomi reminds us that she's a former two-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and she
All
lost
right.
the Raw title. And this ends up setting up Naomi versus Alexa Bliss.
Hmm.
Very significant here. We have Alexa Bliss, who's had concussion issues for like the last, I don't know, like 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Also, very significant. We're here at the Money in the Bank, where this was the earmark for where if Sasha was going to kind of come back, that they were hoping she would come back. Development on that, nothing I've heard. It's just that she's still willing to set out her contract, and they may be willing to just freeze her out like they did Neville.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so hashtag free the boss. And hopefully she figures out, what she wants to do and what's best for her. But
Mm-hmm.
it ain't looking good right now. We get this week's edition of Bray's Wacky Funhouse. And then we have our match, Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. Alexa Bliss didn't want to wrestle this match because she said she didn't have the proper shoes. But Naomi was like, I'll beat you with no shoes. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
and, and so Alexa's shoes kept coming untied. And so the most of the match was Alexa Bliss like hitting two moves and then trying to like get Naomi far enough where she could tie her shoes. So Naomi hits the sunset flip for 2. Alexa's shoes come off. Naomi takes your shoes, tosses them in the crowd. Then she hits her with the rear view. Then Naomi follows up with the split-legged moonsault, and Naomi gets the win.
Yes. That's what I like to hear.
Ray, with his son Dominic, comments on being knocked down and losing at WrestleMania. He said he let his fans and his family down, and tonight he will prove he's the better man against Samoa Joe.
Good luck.
Becky comes out. Charlie interviews Becky and asks her about defending both titles at Money in the Bank. Oh, yeah, Becky said that she'll take on Charlotte and she's going to take on Lacey Evans in the same night.
Oh.
Becky says she's doing it because she will be a fighting champion. She doesn't care about odds because she's constantly overcome them throughout her career. She won't hold the divisions hostage like Charlotte. She won't dodge anyone, and she will beat them all. She promises to dish out a beating at Money in the Bank. Becky then calls out Lacey and offers her some payback for last week. Lacey arrives and mocks Becky's temper. She won't lose her manners, and then they begin to brawl. Refs separate Becky and Lacey Evans. The agents arrive and finally separate them, but they break free, and of course, they continue to brawl until, they get tired, and then we go to commercial break.
Now, is that when Becky told her make her a sandwich?
I'm not sure. I have to go back and I've watched so much wrestling in the last 4 days. I can't remember every part of that promo.
Because I know it happened. I'm not sure on the dates because, I ain't been here.
Right.
They ain't got WWE in Mexico when you're on the boat. Oh, I wasn't supposed to tell y'all I was on a boat. Well, I was on a boat. Ooh, that rain is loud. Jeez.
That's rain?
Yeah. You can hear it? That's rain.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like Peter Patter.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder. They beat the Revival, y'all. That's all you need to know.
Champions.
Just pour out. Excuse me.
You're so disgusted that you're choking.
Yes, I'm choked up at how they've done one of the best tag teams in all of wrestling.
Yeah.
Not only
the Zack Ryder deserves
what?
every good thing in life.
Maybe I can get with that. Kurt Hawkins don't deserve shit.
Aww. That's nice.
Over the Revival?
Well, I don't care about the Revival. I missed all their good stuff, so I don't know why anybody cares about them. What Mariah say? I don't know her. I don't know them.
The Miz, he challenges Shane to a cage match at Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn comes out and talks about his joy that he found outside of the WWE. He said he fell back in love with things like psychology. He lays out a slideshow mocking the entitlement of the fans. They have always been told that the customer is always right. He runs down Kentucky and says, you don't always get what you want. He says last week at 4 a.m. at an airport, a small child asked for an autograph. And naturally, he said no. It made him sick because the child has been taught that he was owed something. He says he doesn't owe the fans a damn thing. He's been more than generous. Yeah. 3 shoulder surgeries and 17 years of 5-star classics was enough. Sami says he will give them what he wants and the fans will take it. People tell him to quit and leave WWE. It says it would be amazing. But what's better is holding the fans accountable. He will be the critic of the critics, and he will take the power back.
All right.
Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. The head scissors and the 619 follows, and then there's a Hurricane Rana, but the 619 is blocked. Joe looks for the Coquina clutch, but Rey escapes and runs into the ST Joe. Joe counters the Uranagi, and then he cradles Samoa Joe for the win. And then in the most DD would have cackled forever if she would have saw this. Dominic comes out to celebrate with his father and puts Rey Mysterio Jr. on his shoulders.
Aww. Because Dominic is huge.
I don't know if I'm Rey Mysterio Jr., if my son needs to be, even though you can, that ain't something you need to be proving in front of millions.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't lift me up, but because like, don't pick me up. I'm your parent. If you're like, oh, you're so precious, put me down.
Those are things that kids do when they're 9 and 10 in the privacy of your own home.
Right.
Look how strong I am, mommy. I can pick you up. Okay, son, don't do that.
Yeah, put me down. Wonderful, put me down. You're so strong, put me down.
Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, contract signing. Michael Cole brings out both men. AJ says he came to Raw to win the Universal title. He says SmackDown was good to him, and he's proud of his time there, but Raw is where it's at. AJ says he's always like Rollins, but he has something that AJ wants. When you want something bad enough, you'll do unexpected things to get it. Rollins is a winner and a champion. Styles says that Rollins has been called the new AJ Styles, stronger, faster, younger, but he will never be AJ Styles. Seth agrees. He says he never wanted to be the next anyone. He wanted to be the first Seth Rollins. Things are different here. This is not SmackDown. This is Monday Night Rollins. Styles will have to be better than phenomenal to take the title from him.
Oh.
Styles says Rollins ran himself ragged to get the title. How you holding up? Styles says they will burn it down and he will build it back up. Styles then says that the Shield is gone now, and while Rollins went through hell to win the title, Styles doesn't think he has much left. Styles is ready to go, and at Money in the Bank, Styles will latch on, sink his teeth in, and won't let go until he is standing as the new Universal Champion. AJ signs the contract. Rollins then says they have a lot in common, but while Styles likes to build things, Seth likes to burn them down. Rollins reminds AJ that he beat Brock and AJ didn't. He will be at his best at Money in the Bank when he beats AJ Styles. Rollins then signs the contract. AJ grabs the title. He looks at it, and then he hands it back to Seth Rollins. Rollins refuses to shake AJ's hand, and instead, he lifts the title up and poses with it in AJ's face. So AJ attacks him, and they brawl as Rollins sends AJ to the floor. Rollins then follows up with a suicide dive, but AJ Styles flies back in. He hits Seth with the phenomenal forearm, and he puts Seth Rollins through the table, and that's how your Monday Night Raw comes to an end.
Aww.
The closing segment,
and
let me see. In the Sami Zayn promo, it's like only 2 things in this whole show that was worth a damn.
Yikes.
This joint was so trash. Oh my gosh.
Sounds terrible.
It was bad.
I'm sorry.
It was bad. And it's like, literally, they could go back to the old school formula and it would be better than what they're doing. Have people win. Let's, we're Americans. We like winners.
We do.
So, you know what you could do to make me get behind Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins? Have them wrestle some jobbers a few weeks in a row. Have them win. And
Hmm.
then I can be like, okay, I haven't seen Kurt Hawkins win anything except for the tag team titles. Like, that's believable.
Hmm.
What happened to like everything else in sports where you see people win and win and win and win, and then eventually they win so much that they win the championship or they get a chance to win the championship because they won so much?
No,
Such a
that's not how
novelty.
wrestling works.
Ah,
You get a
such a
chance
novelty.
because they say so. You get an opportunity because why not? What is logic? What is earning things?
It's it's killing my enjoyment of Monday Night Raw.
Is it killing your vibe, friend?
Uh, I'm so glad I had so much Japanese wrestling to catch up on this week.
Oh, it
Oh
was
yeah,
wonderful.
that is very wonderful.
I'm
Lots of
happy
hard
for
hitting
you.
action. Yeah, a couple of like 4.5 star matches too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Miss Juliet, this time I'll turn it over to you for your SmackDown Matters report.
SmackDown does matter. I'm so sorry I've missed you for 2 weeks, but I'm back. And apparently I am back in Columbus, Ohio. Michael Cole brings out Is Michael Cole on SmackDown?
He was just on SmackDown for this one little part here.
And that's it so far?
That's it so far.
Let's keep it that way. Okay. He brings out Kofi Kingston to discuss the actions of Kevin Owens on last week's show. He praises Kofi and talks about his journey to the title. Kofi says that there are a lot of highs as well as lows, but you got to keep fighting. He's proud. He got to do that with the New Day because they helped him make the impossible possible. Michael Cole says Kofi's Mania moment was special and maybe one of the best Mania moments of all time. I would agree with that. Kofi says next to his kids and wife, it was the greatest moment of his life. That is so sweet. Cole finally brings up Owens' betrayal. I guess his 1 week betrayal an attack on Xavier last week. Kofi says he should have seen this coming, yes, but he and New Day believe in second chances and giving people that chance to change. All Owens had to do was ask for a shot and he would have given it to him, but let him come at him Money in the Bank and he'll defend the title there. KO arrives, accepts the match. Kevin says that Kofi gave the fans a great moment, but it ended and none of these fans really believe in Kofi as a champion. And actually, Kofi doesn't even believe in himself either. Xavier attacks, but Owens lays him out with a super kick. I saw it. It made me sad.
Xavier was mad because of that buckle bomb from last week. Well, the
Yeah,
apron bomb rather.
yeah. I mean, it's upsetting. Um, Bailey is going to be in the Money in the Bank match. Bailey also has a match with Becky Lynch right now. She misses a knee, allowing Becky to cut her off with a missile drop kick. Bailey battles back, takes control, looks to finish things with a top rope elbow drop. But Becky gets her knees up, puts on the disarmor. Becky gets the win almost immediately. Charlotte hits a boot on Becky and posts Bailey and stands in the ring like the angry titan that she is.
She did all that in a pair of brogans too. Very
But
talented.
I mean, Charlotte's an athletic girl.
I would have tore all my ankles up. That would have
Mhm.
had like them Steph Curry ankle braces on for the next 8 months of my life. I would have tried to do that.
She's skillful. Next, the Hardys arrive. They mentioned Jeff's injury, which apparently was the fault of Lars Sullivan. Shocking. No, of course not. He says he'll be out for a long time, Jeff, and they must relinquish the SmackDown tag team titles. Lars arrives and Matt tries to fight him off, but he fails. Lars hits the freak accident. Jeff looks to fight. That's not going to work. But Truth attacks with a chair shot. Our Truth?
Our truth.
He be hanging with Lars now?
No, our truth. Lars attacked our truth. He's the first person on SmackDown he attacked. So our truth has been trying to get him back.
Oh, got you. This angers Lars, and he hits Truth with a freak accident and Liger bomb. So really, our Truth ended up. It was supposed to be like a double team thing, but he's injured, and Truth is Truth. So.
The funniest thing happened, right? So, of course, Jeff Hardy's on one leg for real.
Mhm.
So he's trying to get out of the ring.
Mhm.
So the thing is, he's supposed to get on the apron, and then I guess Lars Sullivan is supposed to attack him, and that's what's supposed to bring R-Truth out.
Mhm.
They missed that part in the middle. So
Oh.
R-Truth comes out, they do what they do,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, when they turn back to the outside of the ring, you just see Jeff Hardy just laid out, but nobody touched him. He's just face
Ah.
down on the floor. Like, what happened to him?
Like well, you were supposed to do it, but since you didn't, I'ma just.
Right.
It's, well, I mean, you got to stick to the script, I guess.
I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon blew a freaking gasket
And who do you think thought that was, Lars?
for sure.
Poor baby, can't get it together. Ali, Finn Balor, Cien Almas, because I'm not calling him that damn Andrade, and Randy Orton are going to also be in the men's Money in the Bank match. Next is a tag match: Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Jenny and John Boots and Tights. Asuka hits a German, follows with kicks and covers for two. The double team follows, and the insane elbow finishes things. Jenny Boots and Tights had the prettiest little hair.
Yeah, the black girl.
Yeah, the black girl.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. She was adorable. And John Boots and Tights had a nice little red dye in there too. Equal opportunity compliments. But yeah, I'm all about Jenny Boots and Tights. I need more from her. Hopefully, she's in the performance center, or they'll give her a chance. Mandy and Sonia are backstage talking about getting a chance at Money in the Bank. Mandy says they do have a spot, but it's just the one spot. And Mandy's like, well, I guess it should be you, Sonya. Sonya's like, oh, no, girl, no. Mandy, you do it. And she's like, me? Are you sure? Okay. And then she made some comment about, was it JL and Beyonce? It was somebody who, singers that were not equally yoked. And I was like, you would think that. And so I moved on.
What do you think about Sonya Deville all dressed up?
She pretty. Eyelashes popping, lips busting. She real cute.
She looked like, are you ready? A future women's world champion
Y'all are
in that
funny with
state.
that. Y'all are funny to me. Actually, I'm fine with that because I don't, with all of these women, I don't need one champion for 17 months. Like, see, somebody gotta have bad luck. It can't just be Sasha who only drops the belt after one match. Like, there should be other 1-2 match champions. She can't be the only one. Yeah, sure. I believe in Sonya. Next, Roman is here to talk about punching Vince in his feud with Elias. What have I missed?
Oh
He,
yeah. And the superstar shakeup, Vince's big announcement was Elias. So he comes out, and of
mm,
course he's doing his Elias thing on SmackDown, and
mm,
then Roman comes out,
mm, mm, mm.
and Roman knocked out Vince McMahon with the Superman punch.
Well, I'm fine with that.
So Shane and Elias, the next week, Shane comes out there basically talking trash to Roman, like, get out here, I'm gonna revenge you punching my dad.
Hmm.
Roman's like, I'm not really here to talk. He ain't even say nothing. He just dropped the microphone and just kind of went after Shane. And then Elias came and helped Shane. And of course, they laid out Roman. And then so now Money in the Bank is going to be Elias versus Roman.
Wow.
Yeah, the ultimate Didi Jonay Baywatch match.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
On your brand at that.
as it should be, because Elias deserves to be a SmackDown. But anyway, Roman says he took his one shot to make a first impression, and he KO'd Vince to do just that. It wasn't his plan. It could have been anyone, but he was there to prove he's the big dog, and that SmackDown is his yard now. Shane arrives and makes the ring announcer give him his proper introduction. Shane reminds Roman that the McMahons own all the land, Ranger says, let's be clear, Vince owns the land and that he put Vince on his back. Shane says that he left Reigns' land last week. So Reigns challenges Shane to come out to the ring. Shane refuses because he's about to train for Money in the Bank. Shane brings out the B team, fight, 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 instead for a handicap match. Reigns isn't impressed, so Shane makes Elias the special enforcer, not the ref, the special enforcer. There will be a real ref. Roman dumps Dallas to the floor and Axel cradles Roman for two. There's a Superman punch to Kurt Axel, and that gets a two because Elias pulls out the ref, which he can do because he's the enforcer. Reigns goes after him, and Elias posts him. They. Axel hits the perfect plex for two. Then Reigns hits a Superman punch and gets the win. So all the chicanery does not work. Hmm.
Super
Hmm.
Roman.
Yeah, I mean, it is the B team. B team. Levels. Next is Orton and Andrade Cien Almas versus Ali and Finn Balor. Zelina Vega what distracts Baylor, and Cien hits the double knees for two. They work into counters, and Ali tags in and hits the 450 and pins Andrade. Um, Orton lays out Baylor post match, and I believe Ali kicks Orton out of the ring as well.
Yep, he sure
So
did.
Ali is the one who stood tall at the end of that match, like the icon that he is going to be future. Also, Carmella and Ember Moon are in the women's Money in the Bank match. Yay! So, last thing of the night. This is not a match. It's just a moment. We like to call the moment the Kevin Owens show. He says he's dropped all the crap because, unlike the New Day, he doesn't need it. He will take the burden from Kofi and win the title at Money in the Bank. He tells Xavier to come out and trust him so that they can have a chat. No Woods. So Owens brings out a Woods and Biggie action figure and sits them in a chair. The Biggie toy has his leg taped up all thick and shit. He kicks them away. Kofi arrives. They be brawling. Kofi took control, but Owens breaks his eyes and runs away like a little biatch.
There's a lot of talk around the internet
Mm-hmm.
that Kofi needs to be more serious in the
Oh,
champion role,
okay.
especially after last week, after Xavier got beat up real bad and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he came out to the ring. At first, he was throwing his pancakes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
doing the Kofi thing. A lot of people are kind of like, his demeanor was too happy. He should have been like, real stern, like, not this week. You know what I'm saying? We got some real serious issues to address. My brother, Xavier Woods, is laid up at the hands of a nefarious individual by the name of Kevin Owens. And,
Mm-hmm.
more like in that vein. So that's kind of a thing that's going around the circles of the internets and the wrestling communities is that they want Kofi to serious it up a little bit more as a champion.
Okay.
It's hard for you to comment because you've been running and gallivanting around the world in the 2 weeks since
Yeah.
he's really been a champion.
Yeah. I ain't got no basis for it. So it's like if you say he been doing too much, I'll take your word for it.
What you think about this show, though? Your first show that you've seen in 2 weeks.
It was interesting. I was happy to see Elias. I was happy to see Elias in his arms. I was happy to see Elias in his man bun. That was great. Seeing Oscar and Kyrie was great. Who else did I see? Kevin's always great to see. B team, I was actually happy to see. I miss young Axel and young Rotunda. So yeah, I was happy that they got some activity, even if they lost. Um, and yeah, I was happy to see Becky and Bailey. They had their cute little moment on Twitter. I saw that much when I was still around. Because every now and again, when we would go into port, I would have internet access so I could see what the Twitters was about. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right. Yeah, I like this episode too. This was really good. The match between Bailey and Becky wasn't as good as the match the week before between Charlotte and Becky, but it was still very good. In the tag match, Cien Almas and Mustafa Ali or like Money. If they're in any type of match together, it's going to be good. So I really enjoyed that tag match. Next up, we'll talk about some NXT. The Forgotten Sons, all three of them, faced off against Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Humberto Carrillo.
My fave.
Did you see how he got in the ring?
Mm-mm.
Okay, he
What he
does
do?
this. He does this thing where he does like this dive in
Mm-hmm.
between the middle and the bottom row. So he kind of
Okay.
like, so picture like, you coming up to the ring apron and
Uh,
dives in that little gap. And then what he does is he dives far enough in where he can do like a handstand.
uh,
Yeah, you got to see it. It's pretty cool. I've
that's
never seen,
interesting.
yeah, I've never seen anybody get in the ring like this. It's really cool.
That must be really difficult. Like,
Yeah, he's got some serious core strength.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Umberto Carrillo flies in to make the save, but then he accidentally takes out Oni Lorcan with a suicide dive on the outside. So Danny Burch is left all alone, and he fight for his life until the Forgotten Sons they swarm him. Jackson Riker takes out Carrillo as he flies in. Then they hit this triple team finisher on Danny Burch and the Forgotten Sons to pick up the win. You're gonna have your Ultimate Bay match coming up at Money in the Bank between Elias and Roman.
Yay.
I'm gonna have a Ultimate Bay match coming up on NXT next week as they show a video setting up Bianca Belair and Mia Yim.
I saw that. Girl. Uh-uh.
Do you like that as a catchphrase? You think they could
I
put that on the
really, I
shirt?
really do. I really do enjoy it. Because it just cuts to the middle of everything. Like, girl. Uh-uh. Because, the back and forth is cute, but we don't got to do all that.
Dominic Dijakovic faces off against Mansoor.
What kind of name is that?
Probably like his last name, and they just cut it off.
Why you just call it Mans? You'd be like, whose Mans is this? I heard me WWE. I got the good idea.
Mansoor battles back with strikes and kicks, covering for a 2 count. Mansoor then flies into a super kick, and Dijakovic lays in a lariat and a couple of strikes. Dijakovic hits his finisher to feast your eyes, and he gets the win. After the match, the Velveteen Dream arrives.
Wait. The Velveteen Dream is pushed out by
Yeah,
two
on the couch.
women on a nice little velvet couch. Yes. That's
Ambiance,
how he arrived.
light,
Yes.
the whole thing.
Yes. Yes.
He said that Dijakovic had some words for him last week, so he's got some words for Dijakovic this week. And then Velveteen Dream breaks off into his version of the national anthem.
It was amazing.
It is, I'm proposing that this is the new Black wrestling fans' national anthem because this is why this dude is the very best thing in WWE right now. He's just on another level.
Mm-hmm.
This was so good. He talked about beating up Matt Riddle. He talked about beating up Buddy Murphy. It's fantastic. I've watched this thing like 3 times. Or I watched it when it came on.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched it again after it went off. And then I watched it like earlier today, like just to make sure, like, ooh, I hope they have this all the way to the end because this has got to make it into the show. So you guys will be hearing that in about 3, 2, 1. The Undisputed Era, they cut a promo claiming to be stronger than ever. All is going well until Adam Cole says that they look forward, not in the past, even though Roddy dropped the ball last week. So, of course, Roddy gets pissed. They begin to argue, and he walks off. So what was funny is like, and this is like a thing they've been doing here in NXT lately. So, they got the music going, the undisputed, music is playing. Then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, when Roddy gets pissed, it just all of a sudden this is like zoom, it just stops.
Mm.
It's like, this is funny. Our main event is the debut of Kushida, and he's facing off against Cassius Ono. The running boot by Cassius Ono connects, but Kushida cuts him off with a big right hand. The PK follows, and Kushida gets the hoverboard lock, and Cassius Ono is forced to tap. So Kushida is victorious in his debut.
Yay.
It's going to be interesting to see Kushida wrestling these heavyweight guys because, I mean, Cassius Ono probably outweighs him by like 120 pounds, and that's being generous.
Mm-hmm.
Kushida was a junior heavyweight in New Japan, one of the very best to ever wrestle in New Japan in that weight class. But here, he's 9 and 205. He's in NXT, so he's going to be going up against bigger guys, taller guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how he makes that transition. Plus
Mm-hmm.
WWE style. He put out a very interesting post just talking about how difficult it's been making the transition, moving to Orlando, trying to learn the WWE style, trying to learn English,
Mm-hmm.
going around the loop, and just getting an understanding of how NXT works. So yeah, it was a really interesting read, just kind of how he's adjusting to life here in America. So we're pulling for Kushida. He is one of the best when it comes to just in the ring. He's very technical, and hopefully they can bring that out in NXT, where it is more about the matches and not so much about the gimmicks and the entertainment. I think he'll fit in pretty good once they get him a good story and a good opponent. So, Miss Didi Jonay, we only got one piece of business left. Just tell the folks that they need to go to cspn.us, help support the
Mm-hmm.
podcast and the podcast network, keep the podcast free. Go over to Keep the Podcast Free tab on the top of the page, support our sponsors. Whatever you buy from our sponsors, some of that purchase comes back to help keep the WrassleCast free each and every week.
Mm-hmm.
Also, listen to Miss Didi Jonay's adventures while she was gallivanting around parts unknown on the Dark Match. And you can only hear the Dark Match through our Patreon page at patreon.com/CSPN Media. These are our pre and post show conversations from the WrassleCast, Cast Strong Style, Forever Young Cast. So check those out. Really fun conversations. We talk some wrestling, but most of the time it's a lot of other fun stuff that we, you know, just catch up on. So please,
Shenanigans.
exactly.
Pure shenanigans.
So please support the Patreon, help a brother out. It's really good stuff over there. We got a lot of content. I think there's over 70 posts right now up over there on the Patreon page. There's a couple of videos as well that you can check out. So please support the CSPN by subscribing to our Patreon page. So Ms. Didi Jonay, at this point in time, I'll turn it over to you for your shout outs and thank yous.
Oh, shout out to you, of course. Shout out to everybody who held down the show for the 2 weeks that I was absent. You can't miss me if I don't go away. If I be leaving. Shout out to the boat that I was on. It was a really nice boat. Shout out to everybody on the boat, especially the bartenders. Yes, God. If you ever go on a cruise, I firmly suggest that you use or that you buy the unlimited drink package. It will change your life. Shout out to Jade because she'd be playing games at the airport, but apparently it works out for her. Congratulations. I don't have good airline luck right now, but that's all right. Shout out to Southwest because I did complain about something and they immediately sent me a $50 voucher. Good customer service will keep me coming back because that was on some shenanigans. What else? Yeah, I mean, just shout out to everybody who still uses the hashtags and who still watches that 3 hour show y'all call Raw every Monday. Y'all deserve all of the props in the world. Shout out to you.
I'd like to give a big shout out to the returning Miss Didi Jonay. I'd like to also give a shout out to Quantum Central R and Miss Laura Singh for filling in your absence while you were gone. I greatly appreciate them making time to join me and Sam on the WrassleCast. Also, like I said, Magnum Prime and his new family. Congratulations to the new addition. Give a shout out to Sam. Give a shout out to all the Russell Bays, all the members of the Glow. Give a big shout out to Anwar Starwin, all of my New Japan Wrestling folks. Friday and Saturday, Wrestling Duntaku, 2 big cards from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Live tweet, share your commentary with color, use the hashtag Cast of Strong Style. Main event is going to be Sonata versus Okada on Saturday for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That should be a very, very, very good match. Can't wait to see what comes out of that. Again, live tweet, use the hashtag Cast of Strong Style. So for my SmackDown Matters correspondent, Miss Didi Jonay, I'm your host, Don Delarente, and this has been episode 235 of the WrassleCast. Please stay tuned for the parting promo. Yay, 56 minutes. We're very good at this.
We're really good at this. Oh my gosh.
It's just when we involve other people that they add more time to
That people like to hear themselves talk is what I have noticed.
it.
And because I told you before that I started doing that, and it wasn't because I wanted to hear myself talk, but I was like, if y'all gonna listen to them, you damn sure gonna listen to me. So I would create shit to say when I ain't really have no shit to say. So yeah, people like to hear themselves. Nobody's worse than that one guy, but we won't speak of things.
Yes, yes.
He I feel like when he was talking, I put him on mute and like I went and made dinner and he was still talking. Like I could swear he did. And I remember like checking in and like seeing if I could hear you do that thing where you'd be like, uh-huh, 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 like to like indicate that you're still checked in. I don't think you were. He just had a monologue going. And it's like you would be great in the government when it comes time to filibuster and you just gotta talk about shit. Like
Right.
he's like, I got you.
Yeah, that was one of our longer episodes and not
I know it
more
was.
positive way.
I
That
know it
one
was.
and the one where we had Nabias on for the WrestleMania. Oh, that one.
Oh, Tobias talked long. Yeah, he did. He talked so much. Yeah,
Oh,
he did.
I'm
He
going
talked
through
a lot.
the
And then
Instagram.
one of them anniversary ones where they had all the boys on.
Yeah.
They talked a lot. Yeah.
So this is one, two, three, four, five, six bottles that I can see in this picture, plus like a plate. Is what are these little packages here? Gray and yellow packages
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So one, two, three, four. That's all tequila liqueurs.
in the black
The
bottles.
Yeah, and the black
Okay.
bottles. The one in the back, the thing that says Kirkland is vinegar. That ain't alcohol. The
Okay.
one beside it,
That's
Chrysler
Ray
gave
and
me that
nephew,
years
right?
ago.
Yeah,
Chrysler
I
gave me
know
that
that.
years ago. It's gonna be there until I need like a come to Jesus moment, and I gotta burn out like MRSA or some shit. Ain't nobody drinking Rain nephew, and it's like gold Rain nephew. It ain't even clear Rain nephew. Ain't nobody drinking that shit. Um, the plastic cup is I got it from a boba place, but it was real plastic, and I was like, why would I throw that away? I'm not gonna throw it away. So I washed it and I kept it. The yellow thing is chocolate. The little brown one is chocolate with almonds. The blue
Mhm.
plate is just a plate. The skull is a skull, and then the turtle. I
What's in
think
the
I would.
green thing in the back there, the box?
Oh, that's a scale that I got for being
Oh,
in this little fat people's program. So they sent me a food scale.
I do have another thing though.
Hmm.
Who's your little Asian friend?
Who, April?
I guess. You tell me. She's
Uh, I posted her a few days ago.
uh-huh.
You know Brandon on Twitter?
Brandon
On
Phenom Buck.
Twitter? No, no, no. On Twitter. His name is like Brandon.
Oh, Brandon. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's his wife.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. I met her at a house party.
Okay, cool.
And she was like handing out liquor. They had her on like door duty. So like you were like, "Hi, welcome. Take a shot." What? I would
The
love to.
the entry fee is a shot.
And I was
Hey,
like,
your kind
"Okay,
of
cool.
party.
Sounds great." And then I think there was some like bar crawls, and we kind of bonded. And she's antisocial anyway, and so am I half the time. So worked out great.
I gotcha. Cool. It's like Miss Deja and they just hanging out. It's like I got to check in on you every few days, make sure you haven't been kidnapped or nothing.
No, nobody kidnapped me. Let me tell you about these little Negro people. Actually, the one in Mexico wasn't a Negro. The Negro in California was a Negro. I told you how it was open happy hour,
Yeah,
free ass happy hour.
free
He
ass happy hour.
he was standing in line with a girl, and the girl said, "Get me a." I don't remember. Let's just say she said a gin and tonic. He said, "All right, babe," and then she left. She ain't get but maybe 40 feet away before he said, "You pretty." Okay. I ain't say that, but I was like, you talking to me? He said, "You got a man?" Sir, why would that matter when you clearly have a woman? She just left you, she just went to your hotel room. I saw her leave. So I was like, I like to play like I'm deaf sometimes though, so I ain't say nothing. But that was trash one. And then trash two in Mexico was like, "So what's up with you, right?" Flirting all hard, show me a picture of him without his little shirt on to let me know he had muscles and could hands on me. It was real nice. He goes to talk to old lady gang about taking a water taxi. Has some doing is doing something with the song, and you know when you move an iPhone, the screen will pop on.
I don't know
Well,
nothing about iPhones, but that doesn't sound like it's good if you're trying to do nefarious things.
not even nefarious. It's just your lock screen will like turn on. Like it'll just be like your home screen will turn on.
Right?
Well, on his home screen is a picture of him and his girlfriend. So, old lady gang one was like, "Oh, your girlfriend's real cute," and he looked so shocked. He was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, I saw right there. She's real cute, smiling and things. The picture, it's nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw that. I didn't want to like bust you out in front of everybody though, but I saw her." He was like, "Oh." And then as soon as they walk away, he's like, "But what's up with you though?" I was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "What's up with your girlfriend? Does she stab people? Because it doesn't seem safe." He's like, "Well, you know," and I don't know. I don't know anything. So yeah, men are trash.
Well, things will get better. I'm sure of it. Eventually, you'll be
Ah,
you'll be walking down your Costco aisle, and
actually, let me tell you what.
here come your white knight in
Let me
the
tell
same
you
aisle.
what. Men are not that trash. It was raining today, and I didn't have an umbrella, and so we were crossing the street. I had to go pick up something from Whole Foods, so I'm waiting across the street, and it's not raining super super hard, but it's hard enough that if you have an umbrella, you would be using your umbrella. Well, I ain't have an umbrella. This black man kind of comes out of nowhere and like stands over me with his umbrella, and I was like, "Oh," and then he was like, "Here, you can have it." I said, "Oh my God, thank you." He was like, "You're welcome." And he walked on off to the metro without his little umbrella because he gave it to me. Some men aren't trash. Just some
Now that is definitely an act that proves chivalry is not dead.
men. I was like, "Oh, that is so nice." Like,
He
and he
didn't
didn't
say
like
his name. He
didn't
didn't
say his
say.
name. Wasn't like, "I saw you." Like, "How you doing?" You not just you can have it. I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Now,
And
if
you
he
just
was
kind
of any kind of handsomeness, he will forever be a fleeting figment of your imagination.
of
Stranger in the
you know
subway.
he was like regular like Nobody would be like him, but nobody would be like him. They'd be like, oh, oh, okay. He treats you nice? All right. Okay.
Well,
But I
that's
was like,
awesome.
yeah. But then I was like, I'm an awful human being because when he gave me the umbrella, even though I did say thank you, and even though I was happy to have it, my first thought was, did you steal this damn umbrella? Like,
Somebody looking for this.
this ain't even your fucking umbrella. Like, you just giving away stolen goods. But it was like shady because I know I steal umbrellas. I steal umbrellas all day. So I was like, this probably ain't even your damn umbrella. But the thought was still there. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't say I've had anything that cool happen to me as far as out of the blue. I got to see Patti LaBelle perform though,
I
live
think
women's
that's
empowerment.
damn cool. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. Women's empowerment. So they had Patti LaBelle performing. They had Kurt Franklin performing, and Jennifer Lewis was the keynote speaker. Jennifer
Hmm.
Lewis is so funny,
I know she is.
and she be cursing.
She do. Cause I heard her on RuPaul's podcast. She be cursing her life away.
And
She good for a motherfucker.
yeah, and her afro was immaculate.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And our hockey team is doing really good in the playoffs.
I feel like is hockey season short?
No, it's the same amount of time as basketball season.
It feels so short. I feel like I hear about it 1 week and then 3 weeks later they be like, but the playoffs stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean the playoffs? Your season just started. I don't
Yes.
know how I miss it because it's like, especially since the Caps had just won. So like, I heard about it, but I swear I just heard about it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a decade since our team has made it to the playoffs, and
Ooh.
we weren't expected to get out of the first round, and we beat the Capitals. So our fans have been just ridiculous. And yesterday was the first game back at home because we're the underdog team, so we got to play all these games on the road. We start all these series on the road. So yesterday was the first game that they had at home in like 10 days. There was a
Mm.
point in the game where it was clear that we were going to win. The sound was like surging. It was so loud in there with all those people cheering. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, it's been really exciting and really fun. Definitely highlight of work this year has been working all these events in the cold and getting home late for this spring run in the playoffs.
Hmm. That's so nice.
Yes, yes, it is. It's been awesome. It's been very, 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 very good. So hopefully they keep it up and we go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. That'll keep us working until June.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's like another half. It's like a two month season on its own. The playoffs are.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and here's the thing about sports, right? They pay you all this money during the season, right? So during the
Hmm.
season, some guy may make his contract may say he makes $4 million.
Hmm.
So you get paid for 6 months. You only get paid for the time that the regular, so like the training camp and all that stuff, you don't get paid for.
Hmm.
So once the season starts, in those 4 months or 6 months, whatever your season is, they have to pay you your, $4 million.
Hmm.
Well, if you make the playoffs, that's outside of your contract. So
Hmm.
they pay everybody the same, and they pay everybody like, excuse me, it's like 50,000 the first round, 75,000 the second round, and like 100,000 if you win, 150,000 if you win the Stanley
Oh,
Cup.
nice. You okay?
I'm good.
Don't die.
I'm trying not to. And
Cause,
so,
'Cause if you go, that's it. I don't know how to record.
and so, what most people do is that's just their like vacation money or whatever.
Hmm.
And the playoff check is just like toss it around. It's like I've been making $900,000 basically, for the last 4 months or whatever. Every time I get the check, and then you gonna pass me off one that says 50,000 on it. Psst.
So it's like fun money.
Right,
Nice.
right. But the reason it happens like that is for the teams, the playoffs become their profit
Mm-hmm.
because their salaries are much lower. So they still charge the same, or they charge more for the tickets. They even may charge more for the parking. They
Oh
sell,
yeah. That makes sense.
yeah, they sell more food. They sell more merchandise. So it's all profit.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting racket they got going there. But it's been fun. So, Miss Dijonay, in a couple of weeks, we got a pay per view.
Ugh.
So, who you got will be back on your horizon.
Oh yeah.
At least it's a fun one, though. Money in the Bank.
I cannot wait.
Well, thank you, Miss Dijonay. I'm glad you're back safe. I will
Yeah.
talk to you next week.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back in things.
We should be back on Thursdays for a while, but I'll let you know.
Okay. Either day is fine with me, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All
Right.
right. Have a good
Okay.
weekend.
You too. Good night.
Thanks. Bye. Oh man, I got heartburn like a big dog.